First, put on some gloves, because it'll make it a lot easier to not have your hands smell after this. Then take some paper towel and pat dry your ribs. This will help your mustard rub and the spices stick better to the meat. Now on the back of ribs is a membrane that you're gonna want to remove if you don't want it to be tough and sinewy. And if you try to take a knife to it, it's going to lose a lot of the meat and it won't all come off. What you're actually going to want to do is take your paper towel, grab the corner of the membrane and peel it all off. It's a very strong tissue, so it should all come off in one piece real clean like this. Might take a few tries, but once you've done it once, you'll probably be able to do it every time. Then just pat the back dry, same way you did the front. Toss out the paper towel and the back membrane. Grab the oil of your choice. I'm going to be using hot chili oil because I like having my ribs a little bit spicy. You don't want to put the brush directly onto the meat because you'll cross-contaminate your oil, so that's why I'm dripping it on here and getting it all over my counter in the process. Then just brush it on the same way you would any other cut of meat. Try to get it on there pretty even. If it's on too thick, most of it will just absorb into the meat anyway, and it'll give you a nice crispy layer on the outside of your ribs, which will really add a lot to it. Do the back same way as the front. For the most part, you're able to use any oil that you want for this, although you might want to go with a more flavorful one. I would personally recommend you stay away from extra virgin olive oil or butter on this part because both of them have very low smoke points that'll ruin your ribs. And I would recommend not using sunflower oil either because it's got a very strong taste that might ruin your ribs. Next up, you're going to want to take some yellow mustard and just rub it on there. It's going to soak into the meat pretty well, add a lot of flavor, and it's going to make a good base for the spices to stick onto. This is probably going to be the most messy part of making your ribs, which is why it's so useful to have gloves on right at this point, because otherwise your hands are probably going to smell like mustard for a decent amount of time. Next, you're going to want to go with some crushed red chili flakes on the outside to add a bit of spice to it. I went pretty light on this because there's already quite a bit of spice in the oil that I used, but if you're using something like vegetable oil, you're probably going to want to go a bit heavier so that the ribs really get that flavor. Then just throw that bad boy on a tray. And you want it to sit in the fridge for about 2 hours or so that the oil and the mustard will soak into the meat a bit. You're going to want to bake it at 300 wrapped in foil. I lost the footage here, but it'll take 2 hours. And 1 hour and 45 minutes in, you're going to want to apply a thick layer of the barbecue sauce of your choice. Or make your own with ketchup, garlic, paprika, and onion powder with some brown sugar. Then, once it's on, 15 more minutes at 300, and it should come out looking something like this. Take it out of the oven, put your broiler on high, make sure it's on the middle rack because upper or lower racks will cook it unevenly, and you're going to want to watch this part pretty closely because the broiler can be very finicky, but it's probably going to need to be broiled on high for about 12 minutes in order to get a good crust, and then just serve it up how you like. I made some Cajun fries and some blue cheese dip to go with it. This part's totally up to you because it's a sixth ingredient, but if you want to, you can garnish it with parsley. It adds a nice pop of color to it, and it makes it look really nice. there you have it. 5 ingredients, darn good ribs. Thanks for watching.